So good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone, and welcome to the ECMWF Summer of Weather Code Ask Me Anything webinar. Today is the first Ask Me Anything webinar out of 2 sessions. So today is the first one, and next week we repeat the session. So thank you for joining us today. And yeah, my name is Julia Wagemann, and together with Esperanza Quatero, I'm coordinating the ECMWF Summer of Weather Code. The Ask Me Anything webinar is really a session for you if you are interested to be part of ECMWF Summer of Weather Code, because this is an opportunity for you to get to know what ECMWF Summer of Weather Code is, how it works. We will also have a past participant joining us today, Milan Klöver, who will also speak about his experience last year in 2020, how he liked being part of ECMWF Summer of Weather Code. And then the past 15 to 20 minutes, it's really your opportunity to also ask questions. If you're already interested in a specific challenge, some of the mentors are also available online today, and they might also directly respond to your questions. So for now, I will give a short overview of ECMWF Summer of Weather Code, the goal of the program, also this year's challenges, and the different steps in order to be successful to be part of ECMWF Summer of Weather Code. Before we start, I would like to ask you to go to slido.com, and then you can enter the hashtag ESoC, ESoWC, and this is the platform where you can ask questions. So for the questions and answer session, any question you ask, please feel free to write it there on Slido, and then we will go through the questions during the Q&A session at the end. Okay, so ECMWF Summer of Weather Code is a program run by ECMWF, the European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasts, and it is an innovation program that fosters open source developments and innovative software developments related to weather, climate, atmosphere, machine learning, and cloud computing. Since last year, it is also, we collaborate also with Copernicus, which is the European Earth Observation Program. And part of the challenges is co-financed by Copernicus. So ECMWF Summer of Weather Code is brought to you by ECMWF and Copernicus. And this year we offer challenges under 3 different streams. So the stream 1 is related, so projects or challenges related to software development for weather, climate, and atmosphere. Stream 2 has projects related to machine learning for weather, climate, and atmosphere applications. And stream 3 has projects which are related more to visualizations of weather, climate, and atmospheric data. And how ESoC works is that we propose challenges on GitHub. In a minute, I will showcase you how the GitHub page looks like. And this year we proposed 13 challenges under the 3 different streams, and up to 10 projects will be selected. And the 10 projects that will be selected will be part of a 4-month coding period between May and August. And if you successfully complete the project and the deliverables together with the mentors, then you will be eligible for a stipend of £5,000. And depending on your challenge and the project, you will also, you might have access also, or you will be eligible for cloud credits either for from Wikio, which is the Copernicus data and information, data information and access service, or the European Better Cloud. So I just showcase you shortly how the challenges look like on GitHub. So you can go to github.com and then ESoC and then challenges_2021. And if you are there, we inform you. So there you have all the informations again about this year's Ask Me Anything session. And you see also here an overview of all the proposed challenges. And if you go then to issues, you can see here again the challenges. So each challenge is set up as a GitHub issue. And let's pick one issue, one challenge, for example, the CDS RTTOV box. You get more information under which stream the challenge is part of, the goal of the challenge, the mentors, which skills you will be required for the challenge, and then a short challenge description. The idea for GitHub is really for you to have an opportunity to already engage with mentors before during the application phase and before you submit your application. So this is really a great opportunity for you also to engage with mentors and tailor your proposal to the specific challenge you're applying to. So please use the platform to already start questions. The mentors are regularly monitoring this platform and will then also respond to your questions. And so this is really a good opportunity for you to make your proposal aligned to the challenge itself. And now I go back. Okay, good. So how does ECMWF Summer of Weather Code work? There are 4 steps from the application period to the final ESoC day. So we are currently in step 1, the application period. So ECMWF Summer of Weather Codes launched 1st of February. So this year, the 2021 edition launched 1st of February. And until the 16th of April, you will have the opportunity to submit your proposal to one of the challenges published on GitHub. And so, as I already said, this is an opportunity for you to go on GitHub, to ask questions, and really also tailor your submission tailor your submission to the challenge challenge itself. And please be reminded that you can submit your proposal until the 16th of April this year. What makes a good proposal? We gathered some tips and also we will provide you an example structure on how a proposal could look like in order to help you to also make a winning proposal. And so some tips of a proposal is it is well structured and precise. So please make sure that it is understandable, because the mentors, they will read through your proposal and make sure that also third parties, so not only you but also others, understand what you propose and your idea. It is also important that the proposal or the solution you propose is technically feasible within 4 months. So the coding period is between May and August. And so please also make sure to if your idea is quite extensive, to really narrow it down to a project that is manageable and also developable and doable within 4 months of coding phase. And another very important aspect is also to integrate a clear timeline with associated milestones and deliverables, because this will be also helpful for the mentors to evaluate your proposal, if it is technically feasible, and if you also understand the different steps that are needed in order to achieve your goal and your idea what you propose. So to make your idea, break it down into digestible milestones and deliverables, and this will make it easier to evaluate your proposal, and also understand or make and you have the opportunity to make the mentors understand that you understand the different steps of the project. An example structure of a proposal could be, first of all, to start. The important is that it doesn't have to be 20 pages. So please be brief and concise in your descriptions, and just have at the beginning a brief description of the problem to be solved. So this also showcases you that you understand the problem. Then outline the proposed solution, and this of course should include also the software tools you want to use, or the services, or the algorithms, or the software packages and libraries you want to use, or the data as well. So please be very specific here technically, what your solution is part of. So what is your solution? What makes your solution? What makes your solution? Then the key milestones and deliverables. So provide us a clear timeline and a short description of what the milestones are, and also the deliverables for each milestone. And at the end, it would be also nice some principles you use or you follow for developing. Remember that ECMWF Summer of Weather Code is all about open source development. So it would be also nice to share at the end how you plan to share your project outcomes, and also to maintain it in the future. And yeah, and with this, I think it will be very helpful for you to write up a winning proposal together with engaging already now on GitHub and really asking questions to the mentors now, which will be very helpful for you also to understand the challenge itself better. The second step of ECMWF Summer of Weather Code is then the announcement of the selected proposal. So between 16th of April and the 30th of April, we will evaluate your proposals. And on 30th of April, we will announce the 10 winning teams who will be part of ECMWF Summer of Weather Code. Here it is important to say that you can apply as a team, so you can be more than one person, but it can be also only one person. So you can also apply as a one person team. So anything is anything is allowed and possible. So yes, on the 30th of April 2021, we will announce the final 10 winning teams of this year's ESoC 2021 edition. Any updates, please follow us on Twitter if you're on Twitter, because there we will provide any updates related to ECMWF Summer of Weather Code. Then the third step is the coding phase, and this is really the core of ECMWF Summer of Weather Code, because this is a 4-month coding period where the teams, so you and the mentors, you team up and really work together on the challenge where you submitted your proposal. So you will be guided by the mentors. So usually you have so you will discuss it with the mentors. So but around bi-weekly meetings in order to discuss your progress and also discuss the next steps. And this is usually a very nice learning experience, mutual learning experience on both sides. So you will learn a lot about ECMWF and Copernicus and many interesting activities that are ongoing at a center related to machine learning, to cloud computing and software development in general. And at the same time, the mentors will also learn a lot because you bring fresh ideas and a new perspective into ECMWF's activities. As I said, ECMWF Summer of Weather Code is about open source. So during the coding period, we would like you also to develop on GitHub as part of ESOC. So open source development, and people can also follow your progress and your project. And the fourth step and the final step is then the final ESOC day. At the moment, it is anticipated to be on the 29th of September. It will be a virtual event, which will be live streamed. And this is a really good opportunity where so if you're part of ESOC 2021, you can showcase your results and the project you've been working on together with your mentors. But at the same time, it's also a good opportunity to join, for others to join and to see what has been developed during this year's edition of ECMWF Summer of Weather Code. So this is at the moment anticipated to be the 29th of September, but of course it is subject to change, but we really try to keep it in the same time period around mid and end of September. So for now, any challenges, as I said, they're listed on GitHub. So please go there, have a look, browse through the challenges, ask questions, engage with the mentors already. And then any other information on the ESOC program itself, and also where you can submit your applications, you find it on our website if you go to esoc.ecmwf.int. And with this, I just want to remind you again that the submission deadline for your proposal is the 16th of April, 2021. If you're on Twitter, please follow us on ESoC_ECMWF. And for now, I would hand over to Milan Klöver, who was a participant in the last year edition of ECMWF Summer of Weather Code, and he will share with you his experiences, how it is to be part of ECMWF Summer of Weather Code. Milan, the floor is yours.
Great, welcome everyone. I'll just quickly share my screen. Share, and then this one, and then play. Does that work?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay, great. Yes, so I participated last year in the Summer of Weather Code, and so I just presented like a very short presentation here, just a couple of slides for you to give you an idea of what you can ask. So my project was, I basically phrased it then as Elefridge. So it was really a project around data compression. So basically questioning whether the way how data is currently compressed at ECMWF, or also for the Copernicus service in general, whether this can be done in any better way as it's currently done. And so really the challenge was presented in this way of that whenever we do data compression, there's a certain trade-off. So basically visualize or similar to this idea of if you want to squeeze an elephant into a fridge, there's different ways you can do it. You can either get a very, very large fridge, but the problem is obviously that we want to get a smaller data archive rather than a bigger one. You can take, for example, a picture if you want to, but then the problem is that you throw away some information, some data. And if you only store that picture, then you basically, you have some missing data, and you would like to obviously keep as much as possible so that everyone can use the data that is produced at ECMWF. And then the last one is speed. So basically the idea, of course, we could basically take the DNA of an elephant and store that one in the fridge, but then it really would take years to recreate it. And so basically what I was working on is this more like basically tackled this idea of how much can we preserve information while reducing the precision, which gives us basically the size reduction. And then basically one of the outcomes was this one here, where you can see basically it's it's ozone. I think some like 10 kilometers up in the air, and then on the very left slide, this is basically the full precision original data set as it basically is currently stored. And then I'm basically reducing the precision going from left to right. But actually I went then on and developed some metrics, how you can quantify the real information preserved. And this is what you can see here up in the top. So what I'm basically proposing, or I'm still proposing what I proposed for last year's challenge, was then we can do something like this, where we conserve 99% of the information, but actually achieve compression factors of up to 30x, meaning that basically the whole data archive could be stored in its current form 30 times, because everything is 30 times smaller. How I got to this ECMWF Summer of Weather Code was basically because a friend of mine who's in the same PhD program as me, so I'm a PhD student, and that's also why I did this project, because it basically fit very well into my overall workflow anyway, and it was a nice additional project. Just want to say a couple of things on proposal writing. Julia already went into a lot of details there. So I think in the end, I probably submitted only, I think, 3 or 4 pages. So not really much more. I just really tried to be short and concise. But what really helped me writing this was that I just started a discussion with the mentors on GitHub, just like asking some questions. What is this challenge actually about? Are there any technical things that you basically in your current role can't really foresee? Just start a discussion so that you get an idea of what could be done, what's possible from their side, what's possible from your side. Read a bit through the references they put up. So they will probably always put up some papers, or find some online to get an idea of what already has been done in that field, what are already different approaches to similar challenges. And then really the actual writing. So from my side, it was really just propose something that is feasible, plausible. You don't necessarily have to propose something that will be exactly the final form that you or like the final work that you were working on. So just as an example here, I just picked up my timeline from last year, and I realized actually these 2 points here, the second and the third, I've actually realized while working on the first one and getting myself more comfortable with the whole topic, that these 2 basically, they would be possible, but they don't really make sense, and there's other ways to do it better. So basically skipped these 2, added a couple of other points while working on them, and then basically finished with the other ones. So these timelines don't have to be final, but they should basically show the mentors that you can work in a very structured way, and this is how teamwork works, right? That you communicate that, and maybe even I don't know, add some graphs or diagrams of like ideas that you have how this could be tackled. Really important was this address the dissemination of your results. So but thanks to that, the whole ESoC is basically happening on GitHub anyway. It's very easy. You just create your own repository, and whenever you have the next step of your work, you just push it to the repository, and so everything is always in there. And ECMWF can look at it, Copernicus can look at what you did, and it also just keeps track of your progress, and that's really good. And I guess when really just if you do the writing, maybe just look a bit outside the box, what other people have been done, and add these references so that the mentors can see that too. The communication with the mentors was actually really easy. So we just have a Slack workspace, in which we've just very frequently, just whenever I don't know, tackled some problems, some issues, some additional information that I needed, I was just writing in there, and then usually, I don't know, within not more than a couple of hours. One of my mentors would just answer, and we had like a little discussion or so. And then actually very occasionally we had video calls, because most of the time for us it was better to work asynchronously instead of always meeting up in person, or like virtually in person. So really the benefits for me that came with these couple of months last year was that I learned a lot, because I basically forced myself to work on a project that I haven't worked on before. That was great. I had some additional supervision, so because obviously you just work on a different topic that you haven't necessarily worked on before, and so always having some other people that have additional knowledge that you can communicate with is just great. Yeah, now I think the people that I got to know is just a great bunch of people for further collaborations. That's great. For me, simply because I'm already a PhD student, it's great because the results will just basically be part of my thesis. So we'll just integrate them somehow into my thesis. We're probably also, because some of that stuff worked quite well, so probably we've already started preparing a publication, though, so that's probably going to be published at some point, fingers crossed soon. And then what I also really enjoyed is that actually ECMWF is really interested in your results. So it's not just something that you do and you do, I don't know, you do it for yourself and someone says like, okay, thanks, bye. But it's really that, yeah, whatever good outcome you will present, ECMWF is interested in that. And from their perspective, it's really, you have a big organization behind you that if something is great, can basically immediately pick up your ideas and implement them. Yeah, and then in the end, I mean, there's also a bit of money involved, which is just great because it's a nice way of acknowledging your work. And for me, it just meant that probably have some further funds that I can put into other research projects. And yeah, just want to stop here. And if you have any questions, I don't know, Julia, whether you want to directly ask them from the Slido or.
Many thanks, Milan. I think your info will be very, very useful and encourage new teams to take part in ESO 2021. I'm Esperanza. I'm part of the ESO coordination team together with Julia. And now we can move to the Q&A session.
Yes, Esperanza. I just saw that Miha raised his hand.
Oh.
Is this correct, Miha? Would you like to
talk?
Say something?
Yeah. Hello. Just a quick addition to what Milan said. I was involved in Milan's proposal, and Julia said in the introduction that it's a mutual learning experience, so that the participants learn from us and we learn from them. And in this case, definitely we learn much more from Milan than he did. So yeah, I think it was very useful exercise.
Thank you, Miha. Yes, great. Okay, so then basically we are now in the Q&A session. So thanks as well also Milan for your great overview. And so there are already 3 questions, and feel free to go to Slido or yeah, post it also on Zoom, any question you have. And we go through them now. So the first question is, wouldn't posting publicly on GitHub compromise the proposal any individual or team is developing? As such, any special idea they may have? So our experience, so ESoC is running this year already the 4th year, so the 4th time. And it is actually the opposite. So by engaging in discussions also with others, you can just gain, because others have a different perspective on the challenge, because the challenge is not that there's only one one path to follow. This is also why we have Summer of Weather Code. It's really, we want to see your ideas and innovations, but also your expertise, because ESoC is not a education program. It's really, we want to take advantage of your skills, which we don't have inside ECMWF. And so, but by starting in discussions, and even if others also joining on GitHub, you just gain, because with any discussion or question, the mentors will respond, and you just get a more transparent and clearer idea in where the road can go. And the GitHub is not about that you post your proposal or your proposal idea, but just take it as an opportunity to ask as many questions as you have while you write your proposal. I think this is how GitHub should or works well. Then we have the second question. Okay. So then the second question is, can the project be developed, be modular, such that even if the project isn't finished in the given time frame, part of the problem statement is still solved? So this is really important to say, why I also said at the beginning, propose a project that is feasible in time. Of course, what Milan said is that there are always, so in software development, there are, of course, changes or challenges we then also have to anticipate during the coding phase. But it's still like most of your deliverables and milestones you foresee should be fulfilled. And so and this is also, I think, one of the key aspects in the proposal, because this also shows the mentors then that you're also able to plan a project at least. And then, of course, if one or two things don't work out, then usually the mentors, they are part of the journey, and then you anticipate together with the mentors, and you discuss how to solve challenges. But in general, don't propose a project that is possible to be worked on for a year, for example, and then you only fulfill the first milestone. Really break it down in a small, doable project. I think this is the best advice. The third question is, if I'm currently working on a research project related to ECMWF, would some mentor be available to answer some questions I have regarding ECMWF data on GitHub? Okay, so on GitHub, this is really related to ECMWF Summer of Weather Code. So if you have a question related to the specific challenge of ESoC, then the mentors will reply. If you have a specific question on ECMWF data or Copernicus data, then please go to the ECMWF website, and we have a huge knowledge base and also a help desk, which is there for you, where you can also post any question related to ECMWF data. But on GitHub, it is really aimed for replying related to ECMWF Summer of Weather Code. Good. Then we have a question addressed to Milan. How much time did you spend in a typical week working on development of your solution last summer?
That's a nice question. I think, so it's a bit hard to say, because as a PhD student, I have a very fluid workflow anyway, and I've definitely not just worked on that. So I've worked on other projects at the same time. I can't really say how many hours, but I have a normal, I don't know, let's say 40 hours a week. I still did some summer holidays, I remember that. And yeah, so it's really up to you. Some things just are done very quickly. Some other things take a bit longer, but yeah, it's not like a considerable amount of time. Yes, you can check also on GitHub how many comments or how many lines of code I've written, but it's not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to work full time on it.
Thank you, Milan. Okay, then the next question is, are there any restrictions for non-EU residents? So this is, yes, there are restrictions specifically for the projects related to Copernicus, because Copernicus is a European program, and the projects funded by Copernicus are eligible for EU citizens. In order to see which project is part of Copernicus, it is indicated on GitHub. So, for example, here the challenge 15 for any project that is funded by Copernicus, we say that specific terms and conditions apply, and one condition is that you have to be a EU citizen. Yes, this is response to this question. Then there's a question. I have studied machine learning but haven't worked with geographical data. Can you please suggest some starting points to get familiar with the topics? So I would say, this is actually a good, so especially for the machine learning projects, this could be a good match, because there is a good knowledge on ECMWF data within ECMWF, and also on Copernicus data within ECMWF. And so, but if you have a good knowledge on machine learning, this is actually a really good match you should apply for some of the challenges. And in general, there are some papers already published, for example, by Peter Düben from ECMWF, who and where you can get head start on some machine learning projects ECMWF is involved. You can also have a look. ECMWF has just published a machine learning roadmap. You can go to ecmwf.in and look for the machine learning roadmap. And there you also see what ECMWF is planning in terms of integrating machine learning applications within ECMWF in the next 10 years. So I think this is would be a good starting point. And then, of course, if you are interested in the specific challenge, then also ask your mentors. So go to GitHub and ask your mentors if they know of some papers or articles published or research that is actually related to the challenge, and that they are happy to share. So please make use of GitHub. Okay, how to determine what data is potentially available for your proposal? Is it a question of mining open source data sets available to the public? I must admit, I don't understand this question very well. Maybe the person is in the call and you can unmute yourself and you can phrase the question. So anyway, I will come back to it. Oh, yes.
Maybe I can jump in on that.
Yeah.
I think, no, I mean, most of the, yeah, I guess in most cases, the idea is that one uses the data that is already on, for example, the Copernicus data store, that can be somehow obtained from ECMWF servers together with your mentors. So basically, your mentors are also your point of contact to get the data sets that you need. It's not about, I don't know, going out into the web and finding the data, and you're not expected to spend a considerable amount of time on data mining. No.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So if this is the question, then basically, yes, all the so ECMWF is a data organization, and so all the challenges are related to any aspect of ECMWF and Copernicus data, which are available via ECMWF and Copernicus. So yeah, it's not integrating. It could be, for example, for some machine learning challenges to integrate also other data sets, but then this is discussed with the mentors. But there is a specific focus on ECMWF and Copernicus data. Good. Then there's a question, if I submit a proposal individually, do I need to work on it individually, or can I collaborate with other members as well? Well, of course you can collaborate, but in the end, I think it is just fair also to the other team members you collaborate with, that they are officially part of the team, and we would also appreciate then to that, yeah, if you work with 2 or 3 in a team, that also the mentors, they know that you don't do everything alone, but you do it as a team. So I think if you submit it individually, then, so the cases we had so far, then people worked alone on the project, like Milan, but we also, each year we have also teams up to 3 usually, who work collaboratively in a collaborative way on the project. And I think it would be just fair also to have them openly recognized as a team member. And okay, there's a question, most of the challenges ask for Python. Can other languages be suggested? Sure, you can suggest languages, other programming languages. Python is for a reason, so many open source developments in the weather and climate atmosphere, and also many packages are based on Python. And this is also the open source or the programming languages which is heavily used at ECMWF. But of course, if you use a language like, for example, Julia, and you know of a very efficient way that can be done via Julia, but not in Python, then I also propose that you discuss this beforehand on GitHub with your mentors, if they would be open for also accepting other programming languages, or if part of the challenge is also really having the developments in Python. So it also depends on the challenge, and this is something to be discussed with the mentors in beforehand. There is a question if there is freely available training and webinars on ECMWF. Yes, there are. So please go to the ECMWF website. There are regularly training courses offered via ECMWF, and during COVID-19 times, they also virtual. And there's also regular science webinars from ECMWF. And in order to get a schedule, so you also find this on the website, or follow ECMWF on Twitter, and then you get also upcoming science webinars on ECMWF where you can register to. Then there is a question, could you tell us more about the kind of support the mentors would provide? For example, Milan said that we will be guided to data products. Any more examples? Yes, so this is really also in the nature of the challenge. Of course, what Milan also said, I think this is really important for ECMWF Summer of Weather Code. ECMWF and Copernicus, we're really interested also in having a successful output of the project. And so the mentors, they really also committed in helping you as much as possible in order to help you to proceed and continue with your project. And specifically, this is with each project at the beginning. They will be very supportive in making sure that if the challenge is related to data, that you have to have access to the data, or you know how to access the data. We are also aware that you might not come from, you don't have a meteorological or climatological background, and this is fine. But the expertise is also within ECMWF, and the mentors are very helpful in supporting you to get started with the project, and then also that you're also able to continue with the project and also finishing it to the end. So I hope this answers the question. Good. Then there's a question related to the cloud credits. So yes, the cloud platforms that are part of ECMWF Summer of Weather Code are Wikio and the European Weather Cloud. And this depends on the challenge. So not every challenge will need cloud credits, but it is in the challenge description if the challenge will foresee any cloud credits. And if it is funded by Copernicus, then you will get access to Wikio, which is a Copernicus DIAS service. And if it is funded by ECMWF, then you will get cloud credits or access to the European Weather Cloud. Oops. Okay, now it's okay. Then there's one question: how many proposals per project will be accepted? So there will be, so this depends. So what we said, we have now 13 challenges on GitHub, up to 10 projects will be accepted. And it depends on, and usually we aim to have one project proposal per challenge. But it also depends on the overall pool of the proposals. And for example, last year we had one case where we had 2 proposals for one challenge, but the 2 proposals, they submitted 2 very interesting ideas, which the mentors wanted to follow or continue both the ideas, and then we accepted both proposals. So in the end, we have a certain flexibility, and it all depends on the nature of the proposals and the overall pool of the proposals in the end. But usually, as a rule of thumb, is one proposal per project. And then one final question: how many proposals can one person submit? Yes, in principle, you can submit as many proposals as you want to. But our experience is, of course, that if you focus on one challenge and then engage at the beginning also with the mentors already before you submit your proposal, so you focus and invest time to one specific challenge, then usually the outcome is also better, rather than trying to submit many different proposals, and then it can't be really tailored to the challenge itself. This is our experience, but of course you're free to submit more than one proposals.
Julie, I think there are 2 questions more in the chat.
Yeah.
Can you say it?
I can. Okay, here's.
When is that?
Okay, so I think was one question about the amount of time Milan spent, and I think this was answered.
The other one.
And then there's another question: to develop the proposal, is the area study global, or can a regional national area study be chosen? This is also really on the nature of the proposal. And for example, for the machine learning challenges, this is a really good question for to being asked on GitHub, and then your mentors will happily respond to it. So this is really also depends on the challenge. But of course, as long as you can give good reasons why you would, I don't know, study more on a regional area rather than on a global scale, then the mentors will be also open, and they're happy to discuss it with you. And yeah, and with this, I think we are through. Unless there are some last-minute questions, then please feel free to take the opportunity. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, then I would like to thank you for joining today. Thank you for showing your interest in ECMWF Summer of Weather Code. I think you have good pointers now. We have another Ask Me Anything webinar next week. So please also, if you have colleagues or friends who might be interested, please share ECMWF Summer of Weather Code with them. And otherwise, I wish you good luck. Please make use of GitHub, and then we're looking forward to your submissions and your proposals by the 16th of April 2021. And with this, I say goodbye, and thank you again today for joining. Bye.
Thank you.